Shalom. This is Brother Azariah coming at you, you know what I'm saying, with this truth. I want to go into the scriptures real quick and, deal with this so-called Christianity, because Christianity says that the laws are passed away. But according to the scriptures, the laws are our heritage, the so-called blacks and so-called Hispanics and so-called Native Americans. So every time when our people are inside these so-called Christian churches, they tell them that the law has passed away. They're saying that their heritage has passed away. And then, so-called other heritages or different things are given to our people, Christianity, Islam, and all that type of stuff. So one of the reasons why they say that the laws have passed away is because I'm going to bring a law out in the book of Leviticus that's going to prove that, the reason why they're doing this is because they know that they're going to go into bondage. All right. So I'm going to start off with Proverbs chapter 19, verse 27. All right. I'm going to go there real quick. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 27. It says here, Proverbs chapter 19, verse 27, cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causes to error from the words of knowledge. Okay, cease, my son. So he's talking to Israel here. All right. Exodus chapter 4, verse 22. All right. And Exodus 4 and 22, and thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus said Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. So Solomon is directing this towards the nation of Israel when he says, cease, my son. Okay. All right. Let's go back to Proverbs 19:27. It says, cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causes thee to err from the words of knowledge. All right. Because Christianity, or so-called Christianity, has caused us to err from the words of knowledge by telling us that the laws are no longer in effect. So I'm going to go to Malachi chapter 2, verse 7. Malachi 2 and 7. It says, for the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Most High of hosts. So the law is the knowledge. Okay? The law is the knowledge. So, you know what I'm saying? They're causing our people to err by this doctrine that they have put out. You understand? Which is not even in the Bible. All right. Now, I'm going to go to Sirach chapter 17. Sirach chapter 17 real quick. And Sirach 17 verse 9, from 9 to 12. And it says here, he gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever, that they might declare his works with understanding. And the elect shall praise his holy name. The elect is Israel, Isaiah 45 and 4. Okay. Now, verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge, which is out of the priest's mouth, which is the law, and the law of life for an heritage. Verse 12. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. The everlasting covenant is with Israel. You know what I'm saying? So this proves that, what they're saying, that the covenant is no longer with Israel, and that's, that covenant is no longer in effect. That's a lie. It's an everlasting covenant. But I want to go back up to verse 11. It says here, besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. So every time when they say that the law has passed away, they're telling our people that their heritage has passed away, or they're no longer in existence, or the heritage is no longer in existence when they say there's no more law to keep. Okay, Sirach 24 verse 23. Okay, it says here, all these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High power, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto the congregations of Jacob. So I'm going to say it again. Every time when they tell you that the law is passed away and the law is done away with, we don't keep any more law, they're telling you that your heritage has passed away. And, and you can't keep your heritage, which is the Torah from Genesis to Deuteronomy. That's your heritage. Okay? Not Afrocentric, not Islam, not Christianity, not Buddhism and all that type of stuff like that. That is not your heritage. Your heritage is in the Torah, because you're the Israelite man, and also to our women, Israelite women. So your heritage is the laws of God, the Torah. All right. Now I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1 real quick. Isaiah 2 and 1. All right? Because this heritage is going to go, the law is going to go forth out of Zion. We want from verse 1 to verse 3. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow on to it. Okay? Now all the nations are going to flow onto it. They're going to be in captivity, and I'm going to prove it to you in Leviticus chapter 25. All right, and verse 3, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the God of the power of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So your heritage, Israelite man and Israelite woman, you know what I'm saying, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, your heritage shall go forth out of Zion, the laws. Okay? This is how we're going to be going back into power through the commandments of the Most High. All right? They tell you, I'm going to say it again. They say that when the law is passed away, they're telling you that your heritage is passed away. Okay? And then that's why, you're accepting anything that they say to you, which is not even biblical. All right? So let's go to Micah chapter 4, verse 1. Because Micah is going to be saying the same thing. Micah is going to be saying the same thing. Let's go to Micah chapter 4, verse 1. Let's start right there. Micah chapter 4, verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow onto it. Verse 2, and many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the Lord shall go forth out of Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So the Lord is going to go forth out of Zion. Our heritage is going to go forth out of Zion. So we're going to take a look at a law, you know what I'm saying, that is our heritage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go to Leviticus chapter 25, and I'm going to start at verse 44. Leviticus 25, verse 44. This is our heritage. This is going to go forth out of Zion. This is why you have Volcate Malone and James White and all the rest of these so-called, those are Edomites, you know what I'm saying? And then you also got Jake, who claim to be Christians that's trying to come against this truth, you know what I'm saying? But they're not going to stop this, because this is what's going to happen, all right? So Leviticus chapter 25, verse 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall you buy bondmen and bondmaids. So we're going to be buying the heathen, and they're going to be our slaves. That's what it says right there. This is our heritage to do this, okay? According to Sirach 24, verse 23, this is the law, all right? This is the reason why they're saying that the laws are passed away, because they don't want you to know about this. But this is going to happen. There's nothing they can do to stop this, all right? We're going to buy them, okay? The same way that they bought us, we're going to buy them, okay? Verse 45, moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. So it says here, the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, mean they come among you, of them shall ye buy. You're going to buy them, that the strangers that sojourn, that come among you, right? Okay. And then it says here, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land. They begat in your land, multiplying, okay? Begat, is a form of multiplication when they're having children, okay? Now, verse 46, and you shall, okay? Verse 46, and you shall take them as an inheritance for your children. So you're going to take them that they begat, and you're going to take them as an inheritance for your children. So it's going to be turned around, because when you saw the Nat Turner movie, when Nat Turner was sitting on that carriage, he turned and looked, and seen the Edomite child come out with the Israelite child with the rope around her neck. That's going to be reversed. Our children are going to have the rope around their neck. Okay? Verse 46, and you shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession, to possess them. They shall be your bondmen forever. Forever. This is going to be, this law is going to be forever. Okay? So now you're starting to understand why they're telling you that the laws are passed away. Okay? All right. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, you shall not rule one over another with rigor. Okay? Rigor mean, hard bondage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go to Revelation chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 26. Okay? Because remember, we're not supposed to rule over our brethren with rigor, hard bondage, hard servitude, and different things like that. All right. So I'm going to go to Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. All right. 2 more scriptures, and then I'm going to shut this down. And it says here, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Okay. Power over the nations, to have power over the people that's going to be bondmen and bondwomen. That's power over the nations. Verse 27, he shall rule them with a rod of iron. So the rigor that we were commanded not to do to one another, that rigor, that hard bondage, we're going to do to the bondmen and the bondmaids, the heathen, the other nations that we're going to possess. Okay, verse 27, and he shall rule and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father. All right. So, they're going to either do what we say, or they're going to, suffer a judgment. All right. All right. Now, let me go to Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. I got one more scripture after that, and then I'm going to shut it down. If any man have an ear, this is verse 9, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So they led us into captivity. They're going into captivity. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48, a yoke of iron was put upon our neck until he have destroyed thee. Okay. And Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, we were put on ships. Okay. And then given as bondmen, and bondwomen. When our women was bond, became bond women, slave women. All right. So now, and to show you that the law is going to go forth out of Zion, I got one more scripture, and then I'm going to shut it down. This is Zechariah chapter 8, and I'm going to start at verse 1 and verse 3, and then that's going to be it. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 1. Again, the word of Yahweh of hosts came to me, saying, Thus said Yahweh of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, for I was jealous for her with great fury. Verse 3. Thus said Yahweh, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called the city of truth, and the mountain of Yahweh of hosts, the holy mountain. Okay, shall be called a city of truth. What is the truth? Okay. Now we're going to find out what the truth is. And then that's it. I'm going to shut it down. Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Okay. So it's the law that's going to be in Zion in Zechariah 8 and 3. Okay. And the law also is going to include Leviticus chapter 25 from verse 44 to verse 46. They're going to be bondmen and bondwomen, or those nations that we're going to possess. And with that, until the next time, I say to the nation of Israel, Shalom.